How you get more yoga stuff, but also maybe some content like this. These fascia, these like pictures of a body. Why is that? These types of ones. Are you getting ones like this? Okay. I'll post them. So the question here, it says, why is fascial care moving from a niche concept to the core component of holistic wellness? Every single dimension, every single wellness person is threading, no pun intended, how what they do is related to fascia. So fascia is now recognized as a system, as a primary regulatory system. So what does that mean? Once dismissed as a passive wrapping, it's just wrapping, fascia is now understood as a continuous living matrix that integrates mechanical force, neural input, so from the nervous system, immune signaling, and fluid dynamics. Research increasingly shows it behaves as a body-wide communication network rather than an isolated tissue. So this tissue that wraps all through our bodies, before in science, like maybe even before I took my first yoga training, they would say fascia is what wraps and is between all of the muscles and all of the bones and everything. Now they're saying like it's this super important thing. It's essentially an antenna to everything in our body. It's where we hold trauma. It's where psychological events stay trapped in there. And why is this important for you to know as a yoga teacher? Chronic pain and dysfunction are reframed through the fascia. So when someone tells you, okay, you have an injury in maybe like this one area, especially bone or just tissue, they're putting it under the light that there's no other body, there's no rest of the body with this area. You're just highly focused on this area. So this information of fascia becoming so prominent is because it's becoming more and more obvious that nothing is separate. Nothing is isolated. One issue in the neck of the body could be from something else inside of your body. So just know that there's tissues that weave together in your body and they're all telling each other signals, pain patterns. Many chronic pain patterns originate from fascia disenification, altered hydration, so being dried out, and impaired glide. So we always talk about the glide, rather than joint or muscle damage alone. So if you're having some issue come to you in your skeletal system, a lot of times it's going to be through the fascial system. Excuse me, because this is what powers our bones. Bones don't do anything on their own. Bones live inside of the tissue, you know, so it's going to be some dehydration, and some type of what's the word, adhesion that limits our range of motion. Fascia's rich sensory innervation, so it's filled with nerves, innervation, makes it a major driver of pain perception and movement limitations. So the fascia acts like a web, and what's going through there is also our nerves. And the nerves is what sends signals to our spine. Hey, you're in pain. Hey, something's wrong. Hey, this is too hot. Hey, this is too cold. So our nervous system is always sending to our brain this. So if we have an issue and the fascia is all around it, often, in the case of a back spasm, which I can talk to at length on a back spasm, unfortunately, I've had a lot of them in my life. So the bones over twisted, or the bones moved beyond their range of motion, and the tissues of the body sensed that, and they said, "Oh no, she's doing something very unsafe. You better help." And they made a muscle contraction, which was too strong to save me, to make, and that's what gave me a muscle spasm. So it's always knowing how the muscles work and how to kind of trick them for some of it. So clinical focus, it's beyond clinical focus now, studying fascia. There's enough, like, again, with what was it? Fibromyalgia. So back like many years ago, fibromyalgia was just a condition that ladies have in their head. Okay, now fibromyalgia is proven nervous system thing. In the West, I had a lot of students, like I was one of the first yoga teachers in my area. This is back when Zumba first exploded. And I had a lot of ladies come to me with fibromyalgia. I had not heard of fibromyalgia at this time. It was like 25. And so they were like, okay, I went to this class, I went to this pain doctor. They had tried so many different things and nothing helped them with their stress and their pain. And they said, maybe yoga will help me. So they found themselves, they tried many other things and they came to yoga because of all of the boxes it checked. You know, it's not just the same as going to the gym. So they would come and find some relief, not just from the poses, but primarily the stilling of the mind and this breath work. So keep an eye on your algorithm and just know that a lot of slides about fascia are coming up. Fascia contains a dense interstitial and autonomic nerve ending. So interstitial means between all of the fluid. So all of the layers of flesh and tissue, there's fluids between them. That's called interstitial, all of that. And it communicates with the brain and the vagus nerve. Persistent stress alters your fascial tone. So if you're stressed all the time, literally the shape of your body changes. Literally changes. As well as shifts towards nervous system regulation, which is what we were talking about earlier. Fascia becomes the central innervation point. So what does this mean for you as yoga teachers or wellness practitioners? It means that we have to take care of the whole unit and not just pieces of the unit. So people are like, but I eat healthy. It's like, yeah, but your sleep is miserable and you never stretch. But I stretch, but you don't eat healthy, you know? So it's like all these, it's everything together. It's just not one thing, sadly. Hopefully, what happens is society can move to meet us, all of us as individuals, that we need to just have a baseline of peace and not have a baseline that you can't give people. They do, but you shouldn't give people a baseline where they're stressed out and it's just like trying to survive and then be like, yeah, now do your wellness. Like it doesn't make, and we're living in a time that makes it really difficult to care for ourselves in a holistic, kind way. So collaboration against biomechanics, neuroscience, immunology, and sports medicine, sports science have revealed fascia's roles in force transmission, inflammation, and cryoperception. So what are all those? Force transmission is like if you get hit and impact and how it passes through the tissue. You know, so again, maybe you get here, but you have an injury in a different area. It's the transmission of the force through the tissues. Inflammation, you know that one. And cryoperception. Cryoperception is the awareness of where our bodies start and end. So having a good perception of where you start and end. Modern wellness now recognizes that lasting health requires restoring communication, fluid flow, and adaptability across the entire system, not just one and then the other. It's like since the 90s, we have a new fad. Do this and you'll have great health. Now do this and you'll have, and each of them are just pieces of the whole system. So fascia, what your body's made from, sits at the intersection of movement, perception, immunity, and recovery, making it foundational rather than a supplement. So it's like if you would again approach the body as a whole, imagine it will be taken care of. And I also think that these things are really funny. Not funny is not the word, ironic. That they're just pretty much saying, take care of yourself as the whole entity. Don't exclude the parts. But apparently that's difficult for us. All right. So think about your fascia when you're feeling the stretch, when you're feeling the line of tension. That's when you can think there's the line of tension when you zoom in, when you're feeling something. And then there's also like there's around the line of tension. The sides, when we do a little bit of a rotation, how we can feel something new, you know. So that's all. We have our target segment, but then we have everything else that's connected to it. So now if we come onto page 156, we have the posterior stretch, Pascimotinasana. Also known as seated forward fold. So posterior, back of the body. So I have at the top here, 80% hamstring, 20% in back. So if you know that your class is going to have this one, you can do the leg step exercise like we did. You can start them, roll down, throw up. They can have that. They're going to go into Pascimotinasana. But mainly the most important part is just getting people to sit. So we have them usually seated already on the floor. You can encourage students to sit on a bolster or a cushion or on blocks. They can also have blocks under the legs. So a lot of people can't sit easily on the floor. It's not easy to sit on the floor. So usually sitting on a block, sitting on a towel, sitting on a blanket can help a lot. But having the knees bent, so having blocks under the knees is a big help. Have it like this, or having just the knees bent and making it super more bent. Okay. So there's different ways of doing it also. So we have active and we have passive. We have yin and we have yang. And it's totally fine and cool to mix them together in a class, but we want to have clarity which one that is. So if you're teaching hatha yoga, it needs to be more in the realm of active. So how it look like, I would use it in two ways, just the same way as we did the forward fold down and hanging versus active. So if I was going to do yang, I come to sitting and I press into my heels and I press the backs of my legs into the floor. So how do I do that? It's like straightening my legs more. I feel my legs pressing more into the floor. It's my position grounding down. You can even bring the hands down. When I'm like this is called the staff. It's not in our list. This is a so having the hands by your side, even lock the elbows, pulling the belly in. And I'm very engaged. It's like standing and using the body. Here. So keeping it super engaged. Here, I'm going to keep the chest and head in relationship. I'll inhale and exhale to get forward. And I'm not even going very forward because I don't want to round my back. I just want to stay straight. And then coming back up. So this one is to make strength. Go back. So moving here. And then get back. Inhale, bring yourself forward. And then exhale. Back. And then as you're ready, inhale. Taking the chest forward, allowing the hands to slide down and pulling yourself forward. If that is very difficult, then you can use the assist with keep your strap. So I could use the strap. This is really young. I'm very, very active. Like if I didn't need this, I wouldn't need the strap if I was needing it. You know what I mean? So here, I'm keeping my shoulders pulled down and I'm keeping my back engaged. And I'm not rounding my back forward yet. So what's active is my elbows pulling in. So this would be a seated forward fold activate. I'm not going that far forward at all. And I'm working on my legs. If I want to work more on my legs, having that little elevation thing on the block. Or on the seat. So from here. And then coming back. Once I've done that, that's very, very, very active in the back. I would say, and now, place your strap to the side and putting both feet on the floor. Allow your torso to go towards your thighs, and then slowly bend the head around to the middle. So completely different feeling on the low back. The other one, the low back, erector spine are working. So those two muscle groups that go along the side of our spine, it's working really hard. Here, I'm going to just let myself rest with my knees bent. As I breathe, so then I'm going to view the world. As I breathe, I can slowly let my legs extend and slowly let myself melt. It's there for me. So my legs are not fully extended, they're more extended than they were. You can take yourself down. If being too far forward is too intense, you can have the block. The block in between your torso, so you're not going as far. It just the feeling of going far, you're like, I feel stressed in any way. The blocks, so they're not going too far. And also the blocks, between the knees. And have to bring your head to the block this way and breathing. And slowly as you're ready, bring the hands into the side and calm yourself out. So when we're doing posterior stretch, you can be more soft. Let yourself melt on the exhalation. So usually I think inhale, stretch, exhale, feel, let the body melt. And even that, like, when I exhale, I'm taking more space. And then exhale, moving it out of the way. Close the torso to the body, to the legs. 80% hamstrings, 20% back. So mostly in the backs of the legs. For most people, sitting with the legs straight is going to be stretch already. Maybe if they're not getting any stretch in the back of the leg, to add that lift. So they can get stretch. But also it will still depend. I don't think that 80% is a right. That's not a general rule. I think that's what they want it to be. And you don't put them like that. So going forward, forward and trying to keep it up, not super. Coming forward is one variation like this. Or forward version, or using your strap. So using the strap and make sure that you're able to breathe. So really being able to lengthen. Using the strap. And often when you're a teacher, it's great to use the for your class because students are going to copy you too. They're gonna be like, well, my teacher doesn't need the strap, I'm not gonna get to this. That's very simple. You know, people in public are so weird. I used to think so. Yeah. So it's like people, so just like do always all the easiest versions so they feel like it's not embarrassing. They're like, well, what she's not doing, even if they say they are reasonable people and they understand people will peer pressure themselves to not be foolish, even though no one loves foolish. So really bringing those elbows in. So do you remember when we did the vertical, when we kind of brought the elbows into the legs? Here I'm gonna bring the elbows and like containing my lines, like organizing my. I'm trying to be very linear, extend my lines of energy. So here I'm pressing lines along the back, so your lines over the hip, and then on my back from my tailbone up out of my head. Here, using this tension and leaning back, I can even like stretch and open my bones, my ribs, and really work on this stack of my ribs on top of my hips. So I'm working on like my legs, but also I'm organizing my torso to help stretch my legs. So just stacking the body, containing the lines of energy, and breathing. Letting your students know that even in this position where I'm in now, this is going to be an option. And then slowly I'll begin to pull myself forward, keep my back straight, take shape from the hip. Inhale, exhale. I'm feeling encouraging in the upper leg. Inhale, exhale. 2, 1. Slowly, let yourself melt forward. Use the strap or just let yourself move forward, melting forward, dropping the head, just like when we did in roll over from up the ragdoll, they call it drop and breathe. So as a teacher, when you're in this position, if you let yourself go all the way over, it's really hard to talk because you're talking into your own stomach. So it's hard to be heard. So you might find that you don't go all the way down. And when the students see you doing this, they're going to also copy your shape. So encourage them, even let them know, say, I'm not able to talk to you when I'm all the way forward with the swishes of my voice. Let yourself close, listen to the sound of my voice, allow it to take you forward. So just again, assuring them that you're not going anywhere. They're always going to look and see where you're going, what you're doing. Let them know that they can really drop in and enjoy the pose. They don't have to always. And let's place the hands on the thighs and slowly bring it out. And taking any temperature stretch that you feel like you think might need. So a lot of the variations here we covered with the other poses, but I'm still going to go through them. So this benefits stretches the entire posterior side of our back, the neck, and also the legs. It can strengthen our arms and back, and flushes the head, and like allows fresh blood to accompany both. Lengthens and stretches and tones the entire spinal column. So we're using, like, especially when we sit up tall like that, we're using those intrinsic faculties to take us down and to take us forward. And while we're young, we can be like, oh, that's easy. But as you get older, holding your upper body really, really difficult. Like that erector spine. So think of older people that you might know. And a lot of them are like, yeah, right? Like they're just like, because they're heavy. Like we're feet are heavy. And if you don't maintain alignment, even people that do gravity, gravity moves. So just think of that balancing of the shoulders, the collarbones, someone who's never learned that going to be closing along. the upper body, as they get older. So this one can really help with that, keeping the arms pulling through and keeping the muscles of the back engaged. Increases blood circulation and tones nerves, again, active. Trim and tones the waist, hip, and thighs. So how does it do that? Just that by that verticality line. So when we zip up, even in standing mountain pose, everything's toned and engaged. It's like a full body energizer. Brings more oxygenated blood to the reproductive and sexual organs. Contraindications are things to be aware of. Is a recent or chronic back injury or inflammation. When I was going through my spasm in my back, I did not want anything to do with that position. You might think that your back, so I had it in my T4, T5, like thoracic. So anytime I went like this, it was stressing on my back. So you might think, oh, but a forward fold is so relaxing. Not when you have an issue. It's not. So that's one that I would often stay away from when I was in active back spasm, because it made it actually worse. Because it triggered my muscles and told them that I was stretching beyond what was already there. With weaker stiff back muscles. Don't extend arms above head. We didn't do that variation, right? Pregnancy is a contraindication or a teaching tip. Use tie and avoid pressure on belly. So you can see that pregnancy, someone trying to fold over their belly is not going to work. Someone with sciatica. So yes, this pose could be relieving, but it could also be pinching. Every sciatica or every issue is different for all people. So if someone alerts you and says, hey, I'm having a pain here, and you can maybe ask them some more questions. Oh, what is it? And if they know they have sciatica, they will tell you. They're like, I have sciatica, they will tell you. You can say, oh, okay. So place carefully when you push it under your knees and hips. So just they might need some support. Constipation. Careful if you're holding too long because they're forward, and again that's that pressure down, that downward pressure in the head. Uncontrolled high blood pressure, it's the same as forward fold because we're coming and bringing the head down. Tight hamstring or back with other contraindication. Proceed with caution. If it's too tight, it's way too tight. There's a variation also where we're sitting like this. Oh, well, inhale the arms out first, and then taking it down, letting the arms come. So kind of have it to reach and extend yourself towards the legs. If anyone has any of those back issues, active back spasm, sciatic issues, don't encourage them to take their arms up. This can be really, really stressful. Because, yeah, just not being in this position and here can be super stressful because I need to rely on my lower belly to hold me. Some people have that. No strength here. They can be eating here and here. But if someone is here with a bendy position, don't worry with them extending their arms too much. You can have them put their arms out and see how it goes. And then for people who can't, then you can allow them for here and then exhale. So you would say, come to seated, come to staff pose. That's how I would do this one. Same as when we say come to staff. I'm going to do staff pose seated. Your feet out of the way, ground down into the floor, like that. With the crown of the head. Arms at either side. Inhale and exhale fully. And then we'll say, all right, next inhale, we can inhale the arms up along either side of the ear or to this like periphery before they go out of your vision. Inhale up and down, lengthen. out of the waist and reach for the feet. Lengthen. Pull the feet or use your strap. You need to add one hold here. And then once you have this first activated contact, then you can let the body melt. When I am holding my feet, if you can hold your feet, I will hold often outside by my feet and help turn my foot out. So this is going to help generally your flexibility for your legs. Versus, they'll say grab the big toe. This. Yeah. So for you guys, acceleration stretch, and it's going to help your foot form to be nice and wide. So widening, and then you're stretching more along the outside of the leg. And always use your strap anytime. Everything comes a lot. Inhale and exhale, let yourself melt. Release and dance and slowly. And then cigarette yourself up. So we can super get this one when we go into yin, it's called caterpillar. And in yin, to be honest, I will do a cushion. When I'm knitting, I'll be kind of like this. And it's so good. So I'm not working beyond my ability. I can make all of this shape. But this is just detoxifying my nervous system. It's just peaceful. I feel closing. And then usually a cushion on the front instead of a walk is nice. You can hold it like this. So this is where passive version versus the other one where it's active. Turning from a mind of energy. Here there's no mind of energy, it's just feeling. So keeping in mind that also with the forward fold family, we call our psychological pacifying, they call us the closing the energy versus that then are more open and exciting, expressive, scary. When you're ready to come out of this position, press into your hand and think the same as roll over for a hug. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Any questions? Or posterior stretch. She looks at that side. And knee down, press. All right. So 147 knee down press or Havana. This is also called the midnight pose. 147 knee down press. So this is another one of those poses where we're making this shape, torso to the back. So this shape has a lot of benefits for the body. Like I mentioned, calming the nervous system. Anytime that we close the torso forward, this is like a pacifying to the nervous system. So this one is no different. It's just on the back. all of those other preps and all of the points that we explored for every other shape we did tonight apply here also. As you can see, it's the same shape. So I'll go through it and then I'll break it down and then we'll do it together. We're lying on the back, connect with the Ujjayi breathing. That is for all of them, even if it's not written in the photos. That the Ujjayi is happening before you got here. Okay. Inhale. Bring the right knee to the chest. Right and left, I'll just make a little note on that. As a person who I practice something daily, I try to start it differently, like on what is my starting side. I always usually start on the same side like most people, but you can try to mix it up. It's really good for your body brain connection. Bring the knee towards the chest. If this is difficult for someone to do, what are some of those contraindications that wouldn't allow someone to bring their knee to the chest? What would the issue be? What would stop someone from right? Yeah, all of those. Hip issues. So what can we do? We can use a strap. It's a good idea just to have the strap nearby. You know, I ordered straps for our training. They're still waiting to be delivered from Amazon. I go, Mom, just cancel them and read because my mom orders everything because her address is right. Can you please just cancel them and reorder? She's like, no, I don't know. So I'm like, Mom, it's been like 3 months now. Literally 3 months. I don't know. So you can use a strap or you can use the elastic. I like the strap more than the elastic. I was using this one tonight just because I had just 2 of those straps and I want you guys to have that explained. I know what that feels like. But if you have like one or the other at home, use the strap. The elastic having the bouncing, that's another application. It's for something different. So when we're doing any belly or on the floor supine poses on the floor, and we bring one leg up and not the other, it's really important that we keep both of our hip contacts on the floor. So be careful, it's not like a twist when we come up, we lift like one cheek off the ground. We want to keep both cheeks on the ground as best as we can. And then we switch legs. And like I said, this one is called wing relieving pose. In regards to the switching it up and like making your left or right leg first. For this one, it's better to do right and then left side because of the way that our large intestine works. So we have our large intestine, we have lots of intestines going through there, but the large goes like this and then goes down into the colon, descending side. So if we're having gaps, you can slowly massage yourself from right up across and down on the left side. So also the knee. Give the knee first on the right and then on the left side. Coming in and then down. I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to who have had like they feel like they're gonna die, but then they just really have to start. I think we've all experienced that. That's the worst. It's super the worst. So yeah, we really pose or knee down press. So Yellow, go ahead and come up to your back. And have your strap with you. And try it with the strap. So you first come onto your back. Take your time onto your back. You can have both of your knees bent and lengthen your whole back into the floor. So make sure you're not like crunched up. Feel how even you feel. One side bent, one side not bent. Check yourself as you come into contact with the floor. And now, bending one knee to be your right knee. Just placing it on the floor. Prepare your strap. And then bringing that knee into your chest as much as possible. Inhale, exhale, pull the knee into the chest. Now holding, lengthen the back of your neck into the floor. Let the leg press you into the floor. Inhale and exhale slowly. Breathe deeply. 2 more breaths. Also, if you or your client has larger legs, you can hold under the knee. You can also engage the leg that's on the floor. You can press or flex the heel, press into the bottom of the foot to create this like tension, more of a stretch, oppositional stretch. Now one more. Exhale, really pull the knee into the chest. And then slowly release your strap or release the leg, extend it along the floor. Pressing in through that heel, press your both heels, and if it's there for you, you can take a full body stretch. And now press for the other side. So get ready for your other side. Use the strap, try the strap. So take your 4 or 6 breaths here. I'm just going to pop it in the back. We'll be finished. All right, and then slowly release your leg, lengthen along the floor, press into that leg. Take your time and just take a moment there and breathe. Just feeling not just the leg, but feeling the whole body. How did that treat your body? What did your body think after that? Is it okay? Not okay. So we did a lot of forward bending. I mean, I don't think we overdid it, to be honest. But we are going to activate a little bit of side butt. So take your time, roll over. And we'll bring our legs to the front. So having our legs here, this is also an exercise that you can add as a warm-up. For me, I'm doing this because I know what we just went through in our body, and it's the end of your week. So these are important to do. I already did them today. So these are important to do. So just taking your legs side to side. and seeing if there's any twist of the low back. So I'm gonna start like a little wider than my hips. So when I can turn, I can have my legs on one side and I can and so what I'm going for is I'm going for complete rotation, my hip socket, and I have twists going through my lower back. And I can really rotate, really use it for my range of motion. So one of the most difficult range of motions for people is their hip rotation, and they lose it quickly. So having this every day, 8 to 10, you can have it in your warm-up. I mean, if this is too much movement for your classes, for you guys, get on it, have it in your movement. But if you find people, you can tell them they can just go gently a little bit to the side. But what we're really going for is like, so I'm rotating in, this full rotation in, and then that one's rotated out, and I'm just like moving, so on each side, really trying to get my rotation in. And go a little wider. Like, from here, so it's like a more wider bound, more wider place. And then I'm trying to put like both sides of my knee onto the floor if I can. Once you have no pain, you moving yourself through that range of motion, especially if you're running, you're like you're still yeah. Get extra. So then option 2, this is not yoga, this is movement. Is being able to do it in elbow support. So support, you can have your block, you can have your head, and now we get into like mobility stuff. Just moving easily as yoga teachers, when you move and when students see you move, you want to move with ease. And again, there's a lot of room for what it means to look like a yoga teacher. We're going to go into this weekend quite a bit into the philosophy of the branches of yoga. So not the limbs of yoga. I know it's maybe confusing, but the branches of yoga. So the different types of yoga. We're studying primarily hatha yoga, but there's Raja yoga, mantra yoga, karma yoga, and so sometimes you might see someone and they're not like perfectly skinny or super flexible. Maybe they're not practicing only healthy yoga. You know, so we have to open our mind, expand our mind. We are learning healthy. That's primarily what you're going to start teaching in your 200 hours. However, it's my responsibility to let you know that there are worlds within that, and it doesn't all equal you posting on Instagram. It can be very internal work. So this one, you can have it as a warm-up if you understand well what's happening, the rotation of the hips, or put it into your personal repertoire. It's something that's good for your body. So you can make it either more restful or more active. If I'm in the morning, I'm going to be like, because I'm like trying to get my like, energy back. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go into the day. You know, so you can also make it more danceable. Dance. So to bring it with the right shape. So here, if I go over, I can reach, or I can reach away from that side body and out, and then reach here. Body and up. It's very natural. So just see again range of motion shapes. Let's take me side. Here. Side. So now let's roll all the way onto our knee and then a little bit up there when you turn this. So we're going to take our feet wide and make it kind of like goddess pose, which is this squat. Yeah, squat. So I'm going to go down, sliding my hips down, tucking from the tailbone, and then I'll bring my hands behind my head. So here, I'm kind of pressing into my side. So I'm just going to kind of take it down and then up, and then down, and then up. So just a few for each side. I'm just really trying to activate my side. Down, and up. And exhale down. And exhale down. Up, and one more. And then I'll bring one hand down. I'll bring both my hands down. So I'll just go inhale or exhale down. And inhale up. So same thing, but just with the arms down. So I'm like just using, and then we're really working in the sideways. And side. And against. More. First 4. And up. And up. And 2. I'm rotating with my leg. And then taking the feet forward, sliding the hands down, bringing the elbows to the thighs, and rest. So we're going to shift a little bit from side to side, taking that tension into your inner thigh one at a time. And just let the head hang if it's comfortable. And just moving into that inner thigh. And then the knees, and slowly roll it up. And I'll heel until my feet in slowly. Let's take one foot behind on the ball, and then I'll reach. And if you can look over at that heel, it's good. And push. And side bend. Breathe. 4 breaths, really extend. Keep that back hip down. Stretch. Away. Inhale and exhale, and round, bring your leg back and center, go up to standing. And ready for the other side, so I'll step that foot behind, inhale up, and lengthen. So when you're here, just be aware of the low movement. Here's what I mean. So see how it's stronger? So here you probably can reach farther, but it's not as, that feeling, yeah. And aesthetically, do it again, Mama, and just so you can see yourself aesthetically. So before, when you're open, it looks more open, and now close it. Watch yourself. See how you look more snatched. So looking snatched is also has its benefits, it's contained. So yeah, I can go like it, I can hang, but yeah. Yeah, and that's like, I don't know if you guys ever practice in a mirror or not, but I like, but yeah, practice and look, and then get to know what you're looking at. And coming back up from that, release. And then we'll do fold over and curl up. So lengthen, and then do your own modification as you like. So lengthen, you can let the arms, you can let the head go first. Good. Answer these shifts. So take your time to travel down. And put your hand at the bottom. So take all the points that we learned tonight. And plus add it to what you know about your own mind. What you're trying to learn about your body also. So remember, we can ask hypothetical questions and be like, what if this? The best thing is like get to know your own self, what's going on in there, and ask questions based on what's going on in your own body. Then you're going to be able to like understand and through your practice, really help other people because they'll understand what's going on deeply from your lens. And that's the only lens that you could actually understand stuff from. It's not like regurgitating theory, you know? Another breath in. And slowly roll. Slowly roll. And give yourself a little shake. And then let's come down. So I was thinking this tonight. I have quite a bit more information this time. But what I'm thinking, I really want your class to be strong. So how prepared do you guys feel for your creating any class? Okay. You already answered. And again, it's not something to be scared of. This is how you're gonna fly. It's like so even if you're feeling awkward from it. So when I don't know if you've prepared it or not, you don't have to write yourself out, you don't have to tell me anything. But what I'm thinking is if you have any more questions for tonight, ask me. And if not, I'm gonna say we can end, it's 9, but I want you to come in with a real strong class. Here, grab some notes. I'm gonna give you some notes. What to include and don't add any creativity. Don't add any creativity. And then I'm gonna send Phoebe this message too because she wasn't able to be here. So don't try to be too clever either. Don't be too creative. Keep it simple. Okay. So think about how we open the class tonight. I was talking about tone, language, demeanor. Of course, I'm going to understand that you're a little nervous and stressed. Okay, so don't worry about that. But try to just, I'm not nervous and stressed as best as you can. So I want you to think of a ritual that you'll do before you teach. What's something that you can do before you teach, even if you don't have a lot of time. So here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna do the warm-up tomorrow morning in class, and then each of you are gonna slide in 20 minutes of teaching. It's gonna be about 4 postures that we learned. So check from the list, they're highlighted in the Google Drive, and I'll go highlight the ones we did today, also they're not highlighted well. So you're gonna have 4. All you have to do is go into the form, hold it for 4 breaths, take 2 integrating breaths in between. We're not doing vinyasa, we're not stringing them together yet. Simply, you're gonna be teaching 4 forms. Okay, now come to the form. Okay, now integrate 2 integrating breaths. And now the next one. We'll do 4 of those. It's okay if you teach the same poses twice. I mean, you can check amongst yourself and be like, which one are you doing? Doesn't matter. You're gonna have an opportunity by the end to teach all of the poses a few times. You know? Question? Okay. So it's fine if you both picked downward dog, so because it's actually useful, because you're gonna hear how someone teaches it different, which is really important. So tomorrow, you're gonna just kind of slide it. I'm gonna teach the warm up. We're gonna go, and then I'm gonna call like one of you. Do the next 4. Okay, next, do the next 4, and that will take it'll be about 20 minutes. So that will be an hour worth of teaching. So I'll do like 20 minutes warm up, and then I'll come in and do our cool down, and then we'll talk about it.
When are we going to start tomorrow?
Early, 8.
So when are we able to
How late?
start
Okay. So how soon can you be here? Okay, so keep us updated because we'll be through a lot by then, and then maybe you'll have a 150 to teach. Yeah. You know. You could just slid it in the 20 minutes, but you have something to do, so. What can I do about that? Nothing.
So 6 poses.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, eventually you're gonna have to teach someone, right? So, yeah, and then maybe you'll need something to counter
Yeah.
your running. And in fact, if you have something going on in your life, you are not obligated to share anything about your personal life with me, and you don't have to. You're not obliged. But if you can teach from your personal life, I have this going on right now, so that's why I chose these poses. So you can add a little bit about it. You don't have to be a pro. Okay, like you are professional, but that doesn't mean we don't have feelings or we're not humans. So you could be like, oh, my neck was really bad this week, and so I'm sharing with you these classes. You know what I mean? I'm sharing with you these poses were really helpful for me this week. Something you could add that. You don't have to. Just saying, if you want to give it like I want to start practicing putting personality into it. It's really just like based on this. I'm doing this because today. You don't even have to have it. If it feels like a vibe. Because part of teaching is you're vibing on the board. And you're watching and paying attention. So you're vibing. So, maybe you're feeling like that people are connecting with you, or oh, well, I'm doing this because I had this week, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's a real human. Because sometimes people don't think that yoga teachers are normal humans. They think that there's a extra special human. They're not. They just have put their time towards making shapes of their bodies. So it's like that.
Mi next one, April. For her, join us. It's my weekend, so you can put the rest of
This is also an option.
Please stay. So you don't sleep.
Are you tired? You guys are tired? I don't know. I don't know. I've been like, I was in Siwa and then I just made sure all week I was just like, and being with my dogs. That's like all, they came back. I sent them to the shelter before I went to Siwa. On New Year's Eve, the shelter took them. And they said we're taking them for like 8 or 10 days. And I was like, oh. And then I got the job in Siwa, like it was super random. I just went to teach yoga for rich people horseback riding. It was awesome. And the dogs came back. My brothers were here. They've flown now. But thank God they were here to receive the dogs. And the dogs were skinny, man. Like they came back skinny. I mean, they had trauma because they gave them ketamine. I think it's the ketamine, and they went down like higher. Like they put them down so they're not so scared in the back of the van. So I picked up like the little pro and I had to put her, and they were walking like this, like they were like drunk, like they were like drugged, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, like the girl was sick, she was like vomiting, like I was like, what did I do? I did the wrong choice. Like I was so worried, and then they took them, and then I was like, how are they? I kept like bothering her. How are my dogs? They were like, it's a good program, but it's also not a good program if you care about animals. And so yeah, they came back. They were way worse. Their attitude jumping, more wild, and they're so skinny. So I'm trying to pack them back because they had their baby shot. They had deworm. They can't have babies now. They had their operation. So they had like their little stomach shaped, it felt so bad. But yeah, so I've just been like spending a lot of time with the dogs this week. So they come, like they feel they can come and they can get fat again. So they weren't even fat before, but like I can see all of their bones now. So I don't know how they anyway. The colossus finished, but it's I'm just trying to make them fat again. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. And if we start later, it'll give me more time with my dogs. I love them. What if we start at 10? Come in. And then you'll be like ish, a little bit after. But yeah, do your best to like come soon, and I'll message Stevie and tell her. But be prepared, be well rested. Don't go home and doom scroll all day. That's not my fault. You know, so go use your time wisely. Prep your class if you haven't. Review.
We have to follow a specific sequence.
Not at all. Not at all. Just don't do something crazy like something crazy. Don't do this one and then standing forward and doesn't flow, you know? So if you're not sure of order, not necessarily hold it for 4 breaths and then 2 integrated breaths. So a good way to look at it is look at your sequence A and B, see what poses go in a row, and just teach a chunk of them. But make sure they're from the list. But get an idea of the shape. So as an example, what do you see before downward dog? Usually standing, inhale, exhale. You can literally take a snippet of a sun salutation. It's not bad. Just make sure that you get your cueing, do your best for your languaging and your cueing. That's what I'm not watching for how well you do it. I don't care. What I'm watching is how well you can say. Because again, maybe there's a day that you're sitting in a chair teaching because your body has an injury. I hope for this day, yeah. As a dance teacher, I can sit and like smoke and watch and teach, and I don't need to do a thing because I know everything so well. I can say it. So this is what we're starting to work. So even if you're like talking yourself through it, that's how it will start as you're teaching, and then yeah, you're narrating your own experience. You know, that's how you'll kind of start. But yeah, look for ones. Forward fold, transition ones that we haven't spoken about. Plank, we didn't break it down, but we've done it as a transition between cobra, lowering to the floor. We've done that. We haven't taught it necessarily, so that is okay. But it's a transition. It's not a pose. Like I wouldn't say like don't do cobra and then to the mid triangle or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and even if you bring something that's like that, it's a good opportunity for us to fix it. Also, so even if you bring something that I'm like, we'll fix it. So even that's a learning experience. Anything else? So, okay, I'll message Phoebe. I'll tell her what's up. I'll tell her to practice this. I know she knows for the weekend, but there's going to be a couple. So tomorrow, yeah, be prepared to teach at any time. I might slot you in there. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, make sure you can take some time in the morning, get your meditation, do your visualization, do your teaching ritual, something that makes you feel good in the morning, throwing off energy. You're gonna be running stuff. Where did you get those little earmuffs in Egypt? I haven't seen them. They're so cute.
My brothers, they're available, I think, in Miniso.
Miniso? We have Miniso here?
Yes, also branches.
Really?
Yes.
Where?
In
the mall. I didn't know Egypt had Miniso.
I guess my brother